Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. We are back. Coffee and Convo. Hangover Tuesday edition. We always find ways to re-up, right? It's Hangover Tuesday. It's Hangover Monday. It's Hangover Friday. But we are here, man. Look, I was getting a workout in the backyard, and I seen a few things. And I said, you know what? Let me just stop what I'm doing real quick because I want to talk to the nation. And again, we do have a show tonight, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, the Graphk and Wasted and Graphk show with Jason Fitz. So make sure you guys pull up. We will be recapping this game. This is a quick live. I just got a few things that I got to get off my chest because I'm really, really irritated with this football team right now. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to what's going on social media right now. There's so many rumors and news surrounding this football team, the Caleb Rogers news. I don't know if you guys got an opportunity to see this, which I think is just absolutely insane that you would throw your young rookie, a third-round guy, under the bus the way this football team is throwing Caleb Rogers under the bus. So there is – I want to find this real quick. Salute to Ted Nguyen. He put this on Twitter today, you guys. According to a source with the Raiders, the staff tried to start rookie guard Caleb Rogers initially, but in practice, he struggled. Charles Grant is too raw as of right now to play. So this is the news now coming out of the headquarters out in Henderson that now Caleb Rogers was initially ready to start for our Raiders at right guard, but had a bad practice, struggled in practice. This is where we're going now with things with Caleb Rogers. I think he alluded to a little bit more. Let me see if I can find this other tweet. Damn, I can't find it right now. But this is what's going on right now. Like everybody else on the O-line isn't struggling right now. Like Will Putnam didn't give up a ton of ass last night at the center position. Like Jordan Meredith didn't struggle moving back to guard. Like Parham didn't struggle. Like Stone Forsythe did not struggle at left tackle. But again, Caleb Rogers had a bad practice. So he was put back on the inactive list, and they elevated Antonio Mafi off the practice squad. Make this shit make sense. Now, look, you guys, I'm not the biggest Caleb Rogers fan. I initially had a 6th-round grade on him coming out of Texas Tech. I don't know if you guys remember some of the mock drafts that we did. I would take him in the later rounds. I took him in a few. Not the biggest Caleb Rogers guy. I know Wasted loves him. Again, I'm willing to give this guy every opportunity under the sun because honestly, with those vets out there, we suck anyways. So go ahead and throw him out there. If you're going to put Will Putnam at the center position as a UDFA, put Caleb Rogers out there. Putnam struggled last night. But again, because Caleb Rogers had a bad practice and was struggling to get things down, you put him back on the inactive list and you make this shit make sense, man. Make it make sense. And now more news is coming out of Vegas, and I'm not shocked by this at all. I think for those who have watched my channel, we have been talking about this for a while now, but it seems like the GM and the front office are in different wavelengths than this coaching staff. Who would have thought? We've been preaching this for months now. But I want to go over this. Salute to my little bro, Scout. He tweeted this out. This is coming from Ari over at My Sports Update. They're doing some really good things over there. Go follow our guy, My Sports Update. But this is what they had to say about the front office and the coaching staff. Who would have thunk it? Per My Sports Update, the Raiders front office is safe. Okay, they're safe. And who would have thought, right? Spytek's guys are not getting a chance to go out there and perform. We don't even know what his draft class looks like. We don't even know how good or how bad these football players are. But again, Tom Brady, Spytek, Michigan connection, it's clear it's day that Spytek's not going anywhere. The Raiders want to build the front office the right way and similar structured to the Eagles, Lions, and Rams. We're so far off from that at this point. Those are three teams that are fighting for a Super Bowl this year. But I digress, etc. And that the LV front office is widely regarded as being deep with talent. I agree. I think there's a lot of great football minds in our front office. It's just going to take some time to build this thing. Front office wanted, right here, you guys, front office wanted to give UDFAs and rookies a chance over the veterans. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Head coach Pete Carroll didn't want to rebuild. You hire a 73, 74-year-old head coach. Who would have thought he didn't want to rebuild? Which resulted in those players being benched or cut. Amari Cooper, Adams, Lockett, Forsyth, Johnson, Fotu, and being 2-8, it won't work. Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll are no doubt on the hot seat right now, and deservingly so. I think they both need to go. Honestly, you have the worst offense in football. You're averaging a little bit under 16 points per game. We had 16 last night against one of the worst defenses in football. This is unacceptable. Chip Kelly got to go. Chip Kelly has to go. The Raiders don't look competitive as Pete seemed they could be. The front office and coaching staff are on completely different trajectories. We've been preaching that over here at OLV Raiders Network for a while now. But hey, more news is coming out that we were right. Some change will occur. Just how drastic that change is, we don't know yet. There's a world where Pete Carroll does step down. We've been saying that. I didn't think the Raiders were going to fire him. I think they respect him enough to allow him to kind of just resign and walk off into retirement, right? They respect him. I get it, which is cool. You want to, save face a little bit, have him resign and let him go off into the promised land. Pete Carroll did not want to trade Jacoby Myers. Front office decided to anyways. Okay, well, the front office went and got Jack Besh in the second round, who was clearly a guy that was going to come in and take over for Jacoby at some point, right? And again, I understand Pete not wanting to move on from Jacoby, leader in the locker room, a veteran, a guy that goes out there and lays it all on the line week in and week out. We see how much of a gentleman he is and a scholar out there in Jacksonville shouting out the Raiders at halftime. He had his little speech and, you guys are going to get it together. Just keep fighting. I get it. I understand. But again, this is just proving us right again that these two, the front office and the coaching staff, are off. It's nasty work. It's nasty work. Honcho signs off. I didn't even know Honcho was live, man. Salute to my brother Honcho. Graphk signs on. Perfect timing, man. Salute to my guy Two Stock on a $2 smackaroonie. And me see me. Just want to make sure I'm caught up in the chat. Okay, cool. Salute to everybody here in the building. Wipe them feet, you guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. But who would have thought? Who would have thought, you guys? Who would have thought that this front office wasn't on the same page as this coaching staff? Look, man, at this point, right? At this point, change needs to be made. Heads need to roll. Somebody needs to be let go today. It's probably not going to be Pete Carroll. It needs to be Chip Kelly. Simple and plain. The offense was supposed to be the side of the football that at least made up for some of the deficiencies of talent that we have on the defensive side of the football. It has not worked. Geno has sucked. The O-line has been terrible. Genty has not been able to get rolling. They have not been able to find a way to get Dante Thornton and Jack Besh involved in this offense. Trey Tucker yesterday had a few drops, and there was some communication issues between him and Geno. This offense sucks. It sucks. And look, rightfully so, right? You lose your starting left tackle, Colton Miller. You lose JPJ, your starting right guard, who needs to be your starting center. I understand that. Chip needs to go today. Simple and plain. Simple and plain. When you go out there again and you draft a guy at 6 and you have Ashton Genty have 6 carries for 7 yards. My guy averaged 1.2 a clip. He had the same amount of receptions 6 of them. He was targeted 8 times. So he was targeted more in the passing game than he even ran the football. We ran the football 12 times yesterday against one of the worst defenses in football against the run. Genty, 6 carries. Genty, 6 receptions for 27 yards. You mean to tell me that even in a down season, you can't find a way to get your generational running back that you chose to take at 6 over a Mimbu and some of these other guys that were available there? You mean to tell me you refuse to get him involved, regardless of how much we are struggling to run the football? Death by a million cuts, you guys. You have to continue to run the football until it works. We are not a talented enough football team to go out there and throw the football all over the place when you have a quarterback that is leading the league in picks. 13 of them shits. 13 of them shits in 10 games. Geno has more picks than touchdowns. Unacceptable, man. Unacceptable. And there's a few things that you can do here, right? I mean, we're not the head coach. We're not the guys running shop over here, right? And mind you, I think Will Putnam is not ready. There's a reason why he was a UDFA coming out of Clemson. But again, I would rather have the young guy go out there and learn than have Jordan Meredith out there knowing that experiment has not worked up to this point since he started off at the center position all season long. It has not worked. It has been bad. It has not worked at all having Jordan Meredith at the center position. Okay. So why not just go out there and do some right here, Pete? At least on the way out, do what your general manager is asking of you. Play the youth. O-line moving forward. Charles Grant at left tackle. Dylan Parham at left guard. Will Putnam at center, regardless of how bad he was last night. Put him there. We know who Jordan Meredith is at this point, okay? Caleb Rogers at right guard. I hate to bench Jordan Meredith, but it is what it is. He is going to walk in the offseason anyways. He will not be a Raider anymore. Rogers is on a rookie deal, regardless of how bad he's been at practice. You start him, and you have DJ Glaze at right tackle. I can live with this unit struggling for the rest of the season as long as we see the youth out there. Starting cornerbacks. Eric Stokes, who's been wonderful for us this year. Why not put Darian Porter out there and get Caillou Blue Kelly's ass off the football field and put Grady Vance back in the slot, back in the nickel, and get Darnay Holmes the fuck off this football team? Linebacker, right? Devin White, Landon Roberts, Jamal Adams, all veteran guys that will not be on this football team next year. Put Jamin Davis out there. He got some burn yesterday. Put Lindenberg out there. He's a rookie out of Minnesota, 7th-round guy who's been getting some special teams reps. Put him out there, sink or swim. Tommy Eichenberg, a guy out of Ohio State that we were really high on. Let Jamin Davis, Lindenberg, and Eichenberg get the majority of the reps moving forward at the linebacker position. Again, Genty, 20-plus reps, period, regardless of how bad the O-line is not holding up. Death by a million cuts. Bench lock it. Get Jack Bech more involved. It seems like every time Jack Bech catches the football, it's for 15 yards or 17 yards or 20 yards. I don't even know what the hell. I want to see something. What is Jack Bech averaging per catch right now? I want to see this real quick because it seems as though every catch he gets, it's 11 and a half. He is averaging 11 and a half per catch. He has 8 receptions for only 92 yards. This is your 2nd-round guy who is averaging a first down every single fucking catch. Maybe get him more involved. Bench Geno. It's clear he's broken. I don't know if you guys heard his presser. Blame on me. Blame it all on me. No accountability. Geno Smith is broken. There is no reason to continue to go down this path. Get him the hell out of there. I don't care. Put Kenny Pickett back in there. He's a free agent next. You just moved a draft pick for him. He's a free agent in the offseason. At least just see what you have with him to see if you want to bring him back at some capacity next season. Okay? It makes sense, right? You can get out of Geno's deal. Kenny Pickett is a free agent, which will cost you next to nothing. Let's see what he has moving forward. Or bring Cam Miller up off the practice squad. See what he can do. I don't even care. Put Aiden O'Connell, a lot of people in Raider Nation's savior, back on the football field. He is a healthy scratch at this point. His wrist is good to go. Put him out there. But again, bench Geno. Graham, let him be the intern head coach. He needs to go too, but at the end of the day, he is somebody that these players trust. Max loves him. All those guys love Patrick Graham. Move on from Pete Carroll. Let him go. It is clearly not working with him in the building. Give Graham the keys to the interim head coach and let him see what he can do, and then you move on from him in the offseason. Olsen, let him be the interim OC. Fire Chip, because guess what Ollie's going to do, you guys? He is going to run the football. He is going to put the football in playmakers' hands, i.e., Ashton Jeanty, a guy that you just drafted at 6 in last year's draft. So let Ollie take over as the OC, run the fucking football. Joe Philbin, what did we do last year, you guys? Moved on from our, O-line coach, and, we brought him in as the interim O-line coach, and the O-line looked a lot better. Guess what? Fire Brennan Carroll. Let Joe Philbin take over and let him see what he can do with what we have out there on that O-line. Whole new coaching staff in 2026. That's what the hell we need to do moving forward. But again, we're just fans. We're just podcasters. We ain't nobody, right? We don't know shit. How does Kappa compete with JPJ for weeks? Then JPJ gets hurt and you replace him with putting him in Meredith. It's like we are putting JPJ in the same talent bubble as Kappa and Putnam. Rube, it is organizational malpractice. It is blasphemy the way that they are treating JPJ. Literally a guy that puts his body on the line week in and week out, that goes out there and does other things that none of these old linemen go out there and do. He has a nasty streak to him. He is a guy that can be a piece, a centerpiece of that old line for years to come. But let him battle it out with the worst graded guard in football last year. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Salute the heat check. Graphk, I'm still waiting on a noti. Why hasn't anyone been fired yet? Look, man, I'm telling y'all now, something is about to happen. I don't know when, I don't know what, but something is about to happen. There is a reason, heat check, that all this stuff is coming out of Vegas right now, coming out of Henderson right now. The news of Caleb Rogers struggling at practice, all the front office and coaching staff having miscommunication and them not being on the same page. There is a reason why all this stuff is coming out today. There's a reason why all this stuff is coming out today. I'm telling you guys now, keep an eye out. There has to be something going on. Somebody, I don't know if it's Patrick Graham, whose defense looked like dog shit yesterday. I don't know if it's Chip Kelly, whose offenses looked like dog shit all year long outside of week 1 against the New England Patriots. I don't know. If I'm a betting man, it's Chip Kelly. But honestly, something has to happen. Hug, bro, the 5-yard in the backfield run from the half-yard line was fucking ridiculous. I drank way too much last night watching that crap. And guess what, Hug? We called that. We called that on the fly. We knew exactly what the fuck was going to happen. We knew it was going to happen. They're going to run Jeanty at the half-yard line. It's going to be a safety. And yet again, Ashton Jeanty, a rookie who's still playing, he's only playing in his 10th game, is going to be right back inside his head again. Do these coaches understand what this shit does to these young kids' psyche? Do you understand hearing, if I'm Caleb Rogers, hearing I struggled at practice and that's why I was inactive again after I told the world I was about to start at right guard? Do you know what that does to these kids? Do you know what it does when Jack Best goes out there, right? And he's only targeted one time and he has 19 yards on that one catch and you don't look his way again? You don't look his way again? Do you know what it does to these kids? Do you know what it does to Charles Grant, a kid that is a 3rd rounder out of William and Mary, and he's just sitting on the bench And he's watching Stone Forsythe absolutely fucking suck week in and week out. And in his heart of hearts, in his mind, he's thinking, I could do way better than that. He won't say it because he's a rookie. He doesn't want anything bad to happen to him, right? Because we all know the NFL is a political place where people pick and choose who they want out there. And it's clear right now that Pete Carroll is clearly trying to show that he is the one in power in Vegas by not playing these young guys and saying they're not ready to go. They need to be ready to go in order to play them. It is clear that he is sending a message to our general manager, John Spytek, to say, hey, I'm running the show. But guess what, Spytek? You were the one that can hit that eject button and get him the fuck out of here. You're the one that holds all the cards. So if there's no move being made here in the next week or so, look, I've been on the Spytek train all year long. I love the pickup in the offseason. You know, once again, I don't know what this draft is because I don't know who these players are at this point. I love that he didn't go out there and overpay in free agency for a bunch of mid-ass players. I love it. I love what he's doing. But again, if you don't take the bull by the horns, if you don't take the reins and sit Pete's ass down somewhere and say, play my young guys or you're gone, then, bro, Spytek can get it too. Spytek can get it too. But it clearly sounds like the front office has no issue. Like they're going to be around. They're looking at this thing as a long-term thing. And Pete is thinking that he can win with this existing roster now, which is absolutely comical to think that you can look at this roster and think that you can go out there and win a ton of games. Did I think that we were going to win a bunch of games this year? No, but I thought, if anything, compete. It's not going to look like this. You're not going to go out there and play Dallas and get murdered live in living color on Monday Night Football in front of the whole world. You're not going to go out there and get murdered by the Indianapolis Colts on the road. You're not going to get destroyed by the Chiefs. These fucking teams, you guys, these guys are literally in victory formation like midway through the third quarter, like type shit. And I know I'm being extra, but real talk type shit. Like they're already in victory formation with like 5 minutes left in the third quarter. They can literally just take a fucking knee and just let this shit run out. It's crazy. It's sad. It's pathetic. This football team is fucking terrible, man. And it starts with the guy that has the belief system to think that he can get all this, all this production out of these guys that he has. And it's Pete Carroll. It's Chip Kelly. It's Patrick Graham. It's his coaching staff. It's nasty work, man. Salute to Hug. Salute to Rogue. It's week 11. Most of the time you want practice in full scrimmages and tackling. It's set. Receiving game and plan install. How the fuck is having a bad practice? How complicated are we making it for the OL? Facts. And if that's the issue, Rube, if Caleb Rogers is not getting it down, what does that say? Again, like you said, how complicated? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the issue. They're making this shit way more complicated than what it needs to be. You can't tell me that these guys that are out there outside of Stone Forsythe because he fucking sucks, and Alex Kappa that fucking sucks. You can't tell me that Dylan Parham is this bad. You can't tell me that Jordan Meredith is this bad. You can't tell me that these guys are that bad. It's clearly something going on out there, Rube, where Brennan Carroll, Chip, and these guys are making this game plan way more complicated than what it needs to be. Caleb Rogers has played this game for a long time. He was successful at Texas Tech. So you mean to tell me that he comes into the NFL and he just totally forgets how to play fucking football? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But wait, there's more. Hug, I could have went on for another hour and a half with that rant last night, bro. And look, this is what you guys are getting for the next 7-8 games, whatever we have left. This is it. There's no more optimism. There's no more, we're not holding any punches. We're just going to rant the rest of the show. The rest of the show is moving forward. I already got my shows planned up to January. This is it. We are just going to scream at the camera, and we are going to continue to talk shit until Spytek hits that eject button on Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, and all this coaching staff who thinks that they are smarter than every single person in the room. Simple and plain. Also, draft Alabama, Caden Proctor as our future guard. My official stamp. Like Proctor a lot. That's not. Salute to you, man. That the trenches go. My God, I like Proctor a lot. Salute to Robe. If Caleb Rogers isn't ready because he isn't picking up blitzes or not getting the playbook, what the F has Brennan Carroll been doing? It's his job to have them ready and develop talent. Exactly, bro. And again, We're looking at this situation as, well, what were we hearing, Rube, about JPJ and why he wasn't playing center? He's having problems picking up blitzes. He's having problem with communication. You mean to tell me that all these guys just completely forget how to play ball the way they play ball at Texas Tech and Oregon and all these other places that these guys can't? You mean to tell me that just out of nowhere, you sign Brennan Carroll, you bring in Chip Kelly as the highest paid OC, and these guys just totally forget how this thing works? Robe, and again, if Caleb Rogers is struggling in practice, Pete, you're supposed to be a guy, once again, like you said, that can develop these guys, build these guys up, like real shit, like build these guys up. Don't go out here in the media and throw this shit out there that he struggled. He had really bad practice. That's absolutely, it's insanity, man. Coach him up. Coach him up. Coach him up. Salute to my guy, Rube, man. I appreciate you, brother. Salute to Trip. Can you tell me why Pete hired his son to coach O-line and they're the worst unit in the league? That level of nepotism makes me not like Pete. Again, man, I don't see anything wrong with anybody bringing in their kids as long as it makes sense and they're qualified for the job. Let's not act like AP didn't hire his son. I don't know what he was doing. It was a minimal job. I think he was out there just picking up bags and shit, right? I don't know what it was, but it was him to get his foot in the door. Again, this is what people do. It's political, Trip. It's just like anything else. You work for the state. 9 out of 10 people, Trip, that I know that works for the state, they got on because of family, right? Anybody that works anywhere, they got on because of family. Nothing changes in this scope, in the NFL. Nothing changes. It's the same shit, bro. Same shit. I'm not upset about him hiring his sons. I'm upset that they're not qualified for the job and they're not doing a good job. And again, Pete is not going to pull the plug on them. There's kids. They're literally his sons. Like, he's not going to pull the plug on them. He'll walk and take them with him before he moves on from them. Again, Chip is going to get the ass end of the stick. Graham is going to get the same because, again, this is his bloodline. WI, my dad has been a fan of 50 plus years, and last night finally broke him. He actually cried and said he had never been this embarrassed and betrayed. And you know what, WI? I feel for him, bro. I feel for him. This shit is just, it's devastating how bad this football team is. How bad this football team is. Watching Max week in and week out have to go to the media shit and talk about what they need to do in order to get it right. Brock Bowers, who's going out there and laying it all on the line, played through a nasty knee injury. Ashton Genty, who's just like, look, the guys call the plays up top. I can only do what, what's afforded to me, right? Like, it's just sad to watch this. It really is, man. This is really a pathetic football team. It is. It's nasty. We were sold a lemon. We're sold a lemon. The thing is, they're so concerned now with going out there and getting stars to perform at halftime and sing the national anthem and to get, these big superstars in the building to wear Raiders shit. It's no longer the priority to win football games. They're literally choosing, the movie stardom thing over actually quality ball. And that's the thing that absolutely just fucking sucks. It just stinks. Mike, man, my dog, Graphk, I cannot believe that Spytek and Brady can be this incompetent running a team. There has to be a plan that we're going to tank to get a quarterback. Well, this is the thing, Mike, right? If what is coming out of Vegas is true, they wanted to play the young guys. They looked at this as a year to just get that draft class and these young guys' feet wet, the year 2 guys, the year 3 guys, let them go out there and perform. Whatever happens. And then you get back into next year's draft. You have a full draft class. You have a ton of money in free agency the next few seasons, and you can kind of pick your poison there. I have no issue with that. The problem is this: hiring Pete Carroll. That's the problem. If anything, yeah, Ben Johnson didn't work out. You know what? Then go get another young guy to come in that can at least understand the philosophy of let the young guys go out there and play. This is where Spytek and Brady fucked up. Their 1B being Pete Carroll, because again, they don't have the same look, the same outlook at football. One is on the way out to retirement. I mean, shit, bro, he's up there in age. Like, he could be checked out anytime, health-wise too. God forbid. They're not on the same wavelengths. So Spytek and Brady definitely fucked up hiring Pete Carroll. But I think the reasoning behind that was they wanted to bring in a guy that can help build the culture, right? A guy that is always going to have the locker room because of the guy he is, and a guy that has, I think that they thought at least he can come in and we can sell this. The nation can buy this. It's not just a no-name college coach that's coming in and hopefully he can right the ship. This was a marketing tactic, you guys. We were sold Pete Carroll. Simple and plain. But the problem is, once again, you sold him to us, but again, now you have a guy in the building that does not look at this football team the same way you guys do. He wants to win now with a bad football team. You guys want young guys to play on a bad football team and build for the future. It's two different mindsets. This shit does not work. And that's where we have to hold Spytek accountable. Simple and plain, because again, you guys made the mistake to bring in a guy that clearly was not on the same timeline as you guys, which is absolutely bogus and makes no sense at all. Heat check. Pete and his son are a package deal. So as long as Pete is here, his son will continue to have his O-line. Be the worst in the NFL. Salute to my guy, Heat check, man. Factory outlet, brother. Salute. Trip. Why they didn't even interview Liam Cohen last year? Well, there was a rumor, right? I don't know how true it is. There's people that were running with the narrative on Twitter and all over, the internet, that Liam Cohen didn't want to interview with the Raiders. That's what I've heard. I've seen a few things, but again, I don't know how true that is. I know that Liam Cohen and Spytek have a connection from their time in Tampa Bay. I don't know their relationship. I don't know if they're really, locked in like that. But again, Liam Cohen is looking at the quarterback situation like Ben Johnson was, like Cliff Kingsbury was. And they're saying, why would I go to Las Vegas? I'd rather, bet my career on a Trevor Lawrence. I'd rather bet my career on a Caleb Williams out there in Chicago. Cliff Kingsbury, I'd rather bet my career on Jaden Daniels. So again, Liam Cohen probably seen the situation. It was like, Spytek, love you, brother. I'm good. I'm going to go to Jacksonville and I'm going to do my thing over here. And the expectations are a lot lower in Jacksonville than they would be with any Raiders football team. Because again, Jacksonville has never won a real meaningful game ever. And what I mean by that is a Super Bowl. Salute to Hug. Graphk, are you rooting for PG to be the interim head because he's the least of all evils? Because his numbers as a coordinator are totally trash. PG's defenses have historically placed in the high teens or 20s. No, I agree with you. And I think that Graham needs to go. But I think that he is the guy that can at least still rally these guys, the Richie B, that can rally these guys and have them go out there and compete for the rest of the season if you move on from Chip and you move on from Pete Carroll. That's the only reason why, because he's the longest tenure guy in the building. He's been the DC for years now. That's the only reason I would say that. Regardless, you move on from him in the offseason. And you know what? I think Hug that he deserves the right to be the interim because he left the situation in Jacksonville in the 11th hour, 12th hour to remain with the Raiders. And he went out there and interviewed, I believe, for a few head coaching positions. It didn't work out for him. So I would like to see Graham potentially go out there and maybe audition for a future spot somewhere else. That's the only reason why. And I don't think that Rob Leonard is ready at all to take over a football team. And I like Robbo. I like him a lot. But again, I do not believe that he's ready for that kind of pressure this early on. Chappie, step down, Pete, you geriatric punk. It's a new NFL. Salute to my guy, Chappie, man. We got 1,300 people in the building, man. Make sure you guys wipe them feet. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet, man. Just a quick rant, you guys, before we go live again later on. Me and Wasted with Jason Fitz from Yahoo Sports, Fox Sports, all that good stuff. So make sure you guys pull back up and hang out with us, man. We're old, stale, don't want to evolve, predictable. And X, you know what's so crazy, bro? If you go on Twitter right now, all these hosts of all these shows, they are kicking our back end right now, brother. They are rightfully so kicking our back end. Trey Wingo, the Raiders are a terrible organization. All these other guys, this is a really bad football team, a really bad franchise, a really bad organization. Rightfully so. You know what? Kick our backs in because hopefully Mark, Tom, and Spytek say, you know what? Something needs to change because, yeah, this is not the narrative that we want out there on this organization. But for right now, they are proving us right. This is a terrible franchise, a terrible organization, a talent deficient football team on both sides of the ball, a coaching staff that is just always in their own way. Chip Kelly, Patrick Graham, Pete Carroll. It's just disgusting. This is a bad franchise right now from top to bottom. And there's only a few guys that can clean this mess up. And it starts with Mark, Tom, and Spytek. And they have to do God's work today, tomorrow, whatever they need to do. Somebody needs to go. And I think it starts with Chip Kelly. And then I think the trickle effect after that, follows once Chip is moved on and they start looking at Graham. They start looking at, Pete and company. But again, I still believe that they're going to allow Pete Carroll to do the whole resign, but he was actually fired situation because they really value what he has done up to this point in his career. Blazed, how do you entice a top head coaching candidate to come in with this potentially moving on from our fourth head coach? We're stuck in hell. Do we need the number one pick or just throw the bag? You know what, Blazed? At this point, bro, I get it. Like, why would you want to take this job? There's only a few people out there that actually really ever wanted this job. It was Del Rio, who did some good things with the Raiders in 2016. It was, Gruden, who wanted to come back and try to right the ship. It was AP, a guy that grew up loving the Raiders, who just didn't have it all in terms of being a head coach. I mean, there's only a few people that would actually probably want to come in and do this. Pete, they lured him out with $15 million per. They lured him out by making Chip Kelly the highest paid OC in football to bring in from Ohio State. They tried to bring in, apparently, Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator with the Niners, and make him the highest paid DC. So, the thing is, it's like this organization, they try to do the right thing. Could you imagine this team failing with Chip Kelly, Robert Saleh, and Pete? It's just like at that point, this team just absolutely fucking sucks, and the stink will just never come off of it, ever. But it is what it is, man. It's just until then, we got 7-8 more weeks to just sit over here and just, man. Check the network before tonight's show. I think it's lagging at times. Gotham, I got you, bro. Just Raiders, baby. I didn't want to say this during the season, but I think at this point we need to gut this thing down again and start over. I don't know where we go from this. Facts. The thing is, man, we haven't completely gutted it out. Like, we keep just throwing cologne on shit. We just keep throwing deodorant on funk. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what we continue to do. It's like last year, you should have just let Aiden O'Connell be the starting quarterback from day one. But you go out there and get Gardner Minshew so we can go out there and try to win you enough games to stay relevant. It's just like, commit to a complete just tear down or stop fucking playing. Like, it's like you just keep stringing us along. Go get Geno Smith, a guy that's a 2-time Pro Bowler. Oh, man, the Raiders can win some football games. The nation gets hyped. Sell us Pete Carroll. He looks like dog shit. We're 2-8. It's like at some point you have to just completely commit and dedicate yourselves to a complete rebuild. Now, I don't know what that looks like, when you have Ashton Genty on this football team, a Brock Bowers on this football team, a Max Crosby on this football team. But again, and imagine being 2-8 with those guys on this football team. It's actually kind of sad, man. Sergeant Air Show, how much money do we have wrapped up in fired coaches? This is embarrassing. And I hate to say this, but Genty is a mid-running back because what has he done? I disagree with you. I think that he's in a bad situation. I think that the O-line is so bad that they got Geno looking like the worst quarterback in football, and they have Genty looking like, as you put it out there, mid. I don't agree with that at all. I think Genty is a special talent. I think that if you get some, big dogs up front to block for him, he is going to be that franchise running back, that we had in Josh Jacobs, that we had in, some of those big names back in the day. I have to disagree with you, brother, but I do agree that this is embarrassing. It is. And I think we have a few more coaches still under contract. I think Gruden is officially off the books now. I think that Josh McDaniels is almost off the books. And I think that AP has one more year. I don't know how much money we still have tied up to that, and it's not really my job to know so. But again, I think we're almost out of those contracts. Salute to X. The old head thinking has ruined this franchise. Talk that talk, my brother X. Salute to you, my dog, C24. Yeah, last night's game just broke me mentally. We won't be getting any Raider gear this year. Guess I'll focus on the Golden Knights now. Sad time for sure. I'm right there with you, bro. Look, I got my Notre Dame hat on. I'm just fighting Irish at this point. I was wearing my Sharks beanie earlier working out. I'm on my San Jose Sharks. We're 8-8 right now. We got a young, good group of talent out there, in San Jose. So at least I can look at that and watch these guys develop. And my Kings are finally dedicating themselves to a complete rebuild as well, getting rid of all these vets So I'm excited about that. But again, you know, the Raiders, we're sitting here and there's just clearly no direction at all. And that's a terrible, terrible place to be when you're in a situation where we're directionless. We have no idea where we are going right now. We have no idea if we're going to get a quarterback in the first round. We don't know if it's another take the best player available, i.e. Brock Bowers, i.e. Ashton Genty. We just really do not know the thought process behind any of this shit. I just wish that if this is the truth, right, about the front office, their vision of playing young guys and doing that, I wish that they would have went in a different direction in terms of the head coach. That's it. Like, if you guys truly wanted to play the young guys, that should have been written and solidified in stone. That should have been in Pete's contract. You play the young guys. Simple and plain. Lindenberg should be out there. Eichenberg should be out there. You know, you went and got Jamin Davis. Give him out there. Give him some more reps moving forward. Why hire Pete Carroll when the vision is towards the future, right? Honestly, I love Max and I want him to retire a Raider. If the vision is about the future, why do you keep Max around when you could have got a bunch of first round picks for him at the deadline? Like, there's just so many question marks surrounding this football team. And I think that we all kind of knew the writing was on the wall when Amari came in and 1 or 2 practice, I'm retiring. The Christian Wilkins situation, you know, the JPJ from Jump Street, there was just so much going into this situation. It's just nasty, bro. It's nasty. Yeah, salute to my guy, man. Yep, look, man, it's tattooed on me, brother. It's tattooed on me. I am a Sharks fan for sure. Now, I'm not going to act as though I know the sport like that, because I'm not super duper into hockey like that, but I'm a Northern California guy, and I rock with the Shark Tank heavily. And I got some roots in San Jose. I used to live out there on the east side off Tully Road. Love San Jose. So the 2 winning seasons in 22 years. Yep, 2016 and 2021. So many teams like the Niners and Patriots have fallen and rebuilt during that span. Teams in our own division even. Facts, bro. Facts. Facts plus tax. Nasty work, you guys. But again, for those who are just joining the show, we got about 1,300 people here in the building. I want to put this out there. There were some things that came up on Twitter, some very interesting things. I'm going to go over it one more time for those who are showing up late. It sounds like Caleb Rogers had a bad practice, and that was the reason why he was inactive so late in the game. According to Ted Nguyen, he says, according to a source with the Raiders, the staff tried to start rookie guard Caleb Rogers initially but in practice he struggled. Charles Grant is still too raw as of right now to play. So that's what it is. And I swear there was another tweet where they said how bad. They were like, it was really bad with Caleb Rogers out there. I can't find the tweet right now. But again, they were putting it out there that Caleb Rogers had a very, 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 very bad practice leading up to the Dallas game. Also, it sounds like, again, according to Ari over at My Sports Update, he covers the NFL for 33rd Team, host of the NFL Spotlight. There's a lot of things that he's doing out there. If you guys aren't, give him a follow on Twitter. But the front office is safe. Spytek and company are safe. The Raiders want to build the front office the right way in similar structures to the Eagles, Lions, and Rams, etc. And that the LV front office is widely regarded as being deep with talent. Front office wanted to give UDFAs and rookies a chance over veterans. Head coach Pete Carroll did not want to rebuild, which resulted in those players being benched or cut for the likes of Amari Cooper, Jamal Adams, Tyler Lockett, Stone Forsythe, Johnson, Lecky Fotu. The list goes on. And being 2-8, it won't work. Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll are no doubt on the hot seat, which is great to hear because they both need to go. Front office and coaching staff are on completely 2 different trajectories. Who would have thought? Some change will occur. Just how drastic that change is, we don't know yet. There's a world where Pete Carroll does step down. We've said that from jump. And Pete Carroll did not want to trade Jacoby Myers. The front office decided to do it anyways. So, and salute to the little bro Scout. He went on to say, outside of the traditional rookies, my best guess for the UDFAs that they imagined would have had a shot to make the roster would be Jafari Harvey, Trayvon May, Greedy Vance, a guy that's been kind of, in and out the lineup a few times. And then also Dalton Wagner, a guy that, has been on the practice squad for many moons now. So there you have it, man. There you have it. So it sounds like there's kind of a standstill between our front office and our coaching staff. And there's only one guy that has the power to fix all this, and that is John Spytek. It is time to hit the eject button. What did Tyrese say in Fast and Furious? Ejecto button, cuz. It's time to do that. Heat check. I said it last night during the game. They kept showing Max shaking his head on the sideline and pissed off. We should have traded Max for draft capital. Salute to my guy. Heat check, man. Salute to my dog. And then let me see. Salute to Byron's best bets. I believe the skeptic report is the truth. Facts. And we've been saying that from Jump Street. It's crystal clear, right? It's crystal clear that there's two different outlooks on this football team. And one has the power to change things, and the other is just going to sit around and throw his power around until somebody sits his ass down, which is Pete Carroll. So, but yeah, man. It's nasty work, you guys. Once again, we will be live tonight, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. Graphk and Wasted the Graphk show. We will have on Jason Fitz of Yahoo Sports and Fox Sports, pulling up a diehard, lifelong Raider fan, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this football game. But get a few more questions in, you guys, before we get out of here. I don't really have anything else that I wanted to talk about. Kind of wanted to pull up and just kind of rant a little bit. Yeah, man, I don't really know what else to say. Again, Geno sacked 4 times last night. The O-line struggled mightily. Geno threw another errant pick that was nasty. I believe that Brock was in like double or triple coverage, and it kind of went off his hands and got picked. Nasty work. We only ran the football 12 times. Genty had 6 carries. Nasty, disgusting work. Only had 7 yards on the ground. They definitely fed Brock Bowers yesterday, 12 targets, 7 catches for 72 yards, averaged 10.3 a clip. Brock doing Brock things, but again, could not get really anybody else rolling. Trey did have a touchdown, 4 catches, 47 yards. He was targeted 8 times. He only had 4 catches. There was definitely, the communication was off last night between Trey Tucker and Geno Smith. Again, defensively, they left a lot to be happy about. There was nothing to be happy about in terms of the defense. Max went out there, had a sack, had a tackle for a loss, 2 QB hits. Max was all over the place. I think he had 6 or didn't he have a crazy amount of pressures last night? I forgot what the hell it was that he had, but again, the defense not really showing up and showing out the way they need to. So giving up 33 points to that Dallas offense, and they could have scored even more if they chose not to take a knee. That Dallas could have put up a 40-burger easily on this Raider football team, but Jerry Jones and company thought they'd be a little gracious towards Pete Carroll and company yesterday. Mark, do you think we would have done any better with Cliff Kingsbury? No, not at all. With what quarterback? I don't want to listen to Pete Carroll, you guys. I don't. I'm not going over there and watching that shit. I don't care. You guys want to watch it? More power to you. I love it for you guys. Real fanatics. I don't want to hear anything that Pete has to say at all. Unless it's somebody's getting canned, there's no reason for me to even check in. So I don't want to watch anything that he has to say at this point. But Mark, the thing is, who was playing the quarterback? Who's playing at the quarterback position if Cliff Kingsbury is calling the shots? That's it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you guys, I don't want to hear him say the same thing. I thought we were going to be way further ahead in our development. I thought that we were going to be way more competitive. And I don't want to hear G had a good game and, nice touchdown to Trey. And I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to hear any of the same shit over and over and over again. I don't want to hear, got to get the ground game going. Got to get the ground game going. I have zero interest in hearing any of that bullshit. So, yeah. But, salute to Mondo, my dog, that coffee and convo. Salute, my guy. Salute. Salute to Two Stock. If this team truly wants to change, we need to focus solely on the O-line and the D-line. I agree. the next 2 years, even if that means continuing to lose. I agree. You know what's so crazy, man? At this point, you just got to build the trenches up, even before identifying a quarterback. Like, just build that up the right way. But the thing is, we need the right people in the building in order to do so. You can't have Pete Carroll, who's had some really, really bad O-lines, or who has struggled to put good O-lines together in Seattle. Like, he has historically had some bad O-lines. Like, even when Russell Wilson was playing at a high clip, he was running for his life. He had to go out there and play hero ball week in and week out. And then they had Marshawn Lynch just running through motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had some really bad O-lines out there in Seattle. You have to have the right people in the building in order to do so. And I keep remembering what Spytek said, you guys, at the presser. It starts up front. What did he say? I'm a Michigan guy. We value having those big boys up front. That's where it starts. And I'm hoping that Spytek goes into the offseason, the draft and free agency with the Tyler Linderbaums and those guys available, and he addresses that. I hope he sticks to that formula. I hope he sticks to his word. He did go out there and get 2 O-linemen back-to-back that Pete Carroll refuses to play. So we don't know what we have in those guys yet. But again, I'm hoping that Spytek goes into the offseason knowing that you have to build up the trenches on both sides of the football. You can't expect Max to go out there and go out and ball out with no sparring partner on that D-line. When Adam Butler, you guys, is the best defensive lineman that you have opposite of Max Crosby, that's a problem. And that's not even a knock to Adam Butler. I think that Adam Butler is a good football player. But when he is the next best defensive lineman that you have next to Max, that is a problem. That's a problem. When Malcolm is playing the way he's playing, Tyree not showing any signs of not being a first-round bust, that's a problem. What do we have with Tonka? What do we have with JJ Pegues? I don't know yet. Once again, I like Tonka when he's out there. He showed some signs of life. I like what we have seen with him up to this point, but we haven't seen enough of him, and we haven't seen really any JJ Pegues. So again, I don't know what we have, but again, it starts up front on both sides of the football, and I'm hoping that Spytek will address that. Again, would I like a Caleb Downs or a Reese, one of those Ohio State defenders, over an offensive lineman? Of course, right? You always want the shiny toy, the guy that's going to probably come in and be a all-pro from Jump Street, i.e. Reese or Caleb Downs or one of those guys. But again, you may have to say, you know what? Let's go get Fano, always butcher his name, Utah, the tackle in Miami. You may have to say, you know what? Let the best player available just go, and let's just go build up this thing the right way up front. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe these guys learned, this offseason that, hey, we took the shiny toy in Ashton Genty when we could have had Membo, and you could have moved DJ Glaze potentially to a right guard or one of those guard spots, and maybe you had your right tackle, the future, opposite of Colton Miller, and at least you have your anchors on the outside on the O-line. Then you can kind of build that up in the interior of that O-line with time. But, again, I don't know the direction. I don't even know that we may even have those guys already on this roster with Charles Grant and Caleb Rogers and Tonka and JJ Pegues. We really don't even know yet because, again, they're not playing these guys. So I do believe that this regime will wait until 2027 to get a quarterback, you guys. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, including myself, but I do believe that they're going to wait until 2027. I do. I think they're going to wait for the likes of Dante over at Oregon, Sellers, with South Carolina, CJ Carr, a guy that Tom Brady is clearly high on out of Notre Dame. They may pump the brakes at the quarterback position in 2026. And again, I don't think Mendoza or Ty Simpson will even be available for us, regardless if we're drafting the top 5. I think those guys will be out. They'll be gone. But we'll see. We'll see. But, yeah, man, salute the 2 stock. Other than that, man, love and appreciate you guys. Let me get the hell out of here and try to save up a little bit of energy for the Graphk and Waste of the Graphk show. Hope to see you guys again, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time with our guy, Jason Fitz of Yahoo and Fox Sports, man. Love and appreciate you all, you guys. keep your heads up. Do not allow this football team to affect your day-to-day, man. You know, this is what we do these shows for. We do these shows, again, for therapy, to just get over this shit. You know, let's just leave last night where it was. Let's just hope that these guys can continue to figure out, you know, what needs to be done in order to get this thing on the right track moving forward. You know, but again, man, you know, I'm not getting upset. And Reese, no, I'm not doing any more AFC West shows for the year. I told the guys I'm good. So I'll hold off for that till next year. I'm completely broken in that aspect of things. I just don't want to talk any AFC West shit at all. I can't do it. So we were talking about that this morning. I'm cool. You'll see us next week or next year because I can't do it. I can't do it. So, but salute, man. Love and appreciate you all. I'm out.